It's Testimony Tuesday. So the Lord put it on my heart a little while ago to start sharing some of the things that He has brought me through and some of the ways that I've overcome adversity. Something significant that happened when I was in college. I was invited to a church service by a friend, and I didn't know what to expect. I just knew that this guy was pretty popular and he was going around speaking, and his message was about the truth behind hip hop. G. Craig Lewis, some of you may have heard of him. When I went to that service and listened to him talk about what is really happening when we listen to music, it completely wrecked me, changed my whole psychology, my whole perception on music, and it really changed my life from that point forward. He said, music is the only thing that has the ability to enter your ear gates and change your psyche without your consent. And that terrified me. Once I learned that every bit of music that we listen to carries the spirit of its creator. There are also people, unfortunately, who are just evil enough to put all kinds of backward messaging and different things into music in order to create a response in the listeners. And so as I learned all of this, I went home and I was just completely wrecked and overwhelmed in a good way. I took all of my CDs that I had at that time, because back then, yes, we had CD players in our cars, and I had my whole little book full of neo soul and all that. I wasn't a big rap person, but whatever I had that did not honor God, I put it all in a trash bag. And I actually had a friend with me when I did this. I put all my music in a trash bag. And in my apartment complex, there was a dumpster in the parking lot. We took that bag out to the dumpster and I threw the bag into the dumpster. What happened next is what really shocked me, and I couldn't really reason with it or grapple with what it truly meant. So after throwing that bag of CDs in the dumpster, there were CDs that started flying back out at me. And I know people would call me crazy, but it happened. And I was just like, what in the world is going on here? So if you have ever wondered or been curious about the truth behind music, or how powerful this principality, because that's what it is. Hip hop it has a principality that rules over it. And so when we consume that music, we are taking on a principality that is basically invading our bodies, our hearts, our minds, and starting to impact the way that we speak, the way we think, the way we act. Not long after I got rid of all of that music, and I just made a decision from there forward that I was no longer going to listen to secular music or anything that did not honor God or that polluted my way of thinking. And so not long after that, my language changed, because I used to cuss a little bit. I no longer had a desire to cuss, because I thought, well, what is the point? And then the more I read my word, and I realized that it says, blessings and cursing should not flow from the same mouth. What is the point of that? And I know some people think, well, that's only if you're actually cursing a actual person, but he also tells us that we will be responsible for every idle word spoken out of our mouth. When I started listening to just more positive, inspirational music, let me tell you, and a lot of times I just wrote in silence, but I began to think more positively. I felt physically better. My language changed, like I said. All around, my life just started to improve. And I just wanted to share that, because I know we don't think that what we listen to and the artists that we idolize really matter or make that big of a difference in our spiritual walk. But I am telling you, it matters so much. So if that's you and you're at a crossroads, or you're still stuck in listening to things that really wouldn't honor God if he were sitting in the car with you, then I really encourage you to reconsider what you're listening to, reconsider what's going into your psyche and changing the way that you think, act, and speak without your consent. Friends, we overcome by the blood of the Lamb, and that sacrifice has already been made, and the word of our testimony, letting the world know what God has done for us.